Hi everyone, welcome to microbiology. We're in week 3 and I'm Professor Gustin. And I'm thinking that the routine is going to start looking familiar this week. There's nothing this week that's going to stray from that, and hopefully it'll go pretty smoothly, except that we have a whole bunch of new information. The topic we're going to talk about this week is called the prokaryotes. Remember, bacteria are prokaryotic cells. There's also bacteria and archaea, are another kind of prokaryotes. So we're going to talk about that. You found the video, and here's the lecture study guide. So you're just going to do like you did before. Print out the lecture study guide and go to the lecture videos and watch those, and then fill in your lecture study guide. Then you can go to the lecture assignment. That's our McGraw-Hill adaptive learning assignment that's going to quiz you on this lecture study guide. So I recommend that once you fill in this study guide, that you practice it a little bit and see how much vocabulary you can get, see how much information you can commit to memory, and then quiz yourself using this lecture assignment. Remember, while you're doing the lecture assignment, you're on the section that says questions. But if you get to a question you're not sure of, there's a link that says reading, and you can go back to the reading. It'll bring you right to the textbook where that information is about the answer and where you'll find the answer to that question. So even though you've watched these videos, it can be really helpful to do that textbook reading in order to answer the questions. And it also is just another way to hear the information in another way or think about it in another way to help you commit to memory. Okay, you don't want to just read things, take notes and read your notes. You want to kind of quiz yourself and try to recall, kind of draw off from your memory. So that's what's going to give you that longer term memory. The other one is a lot of times saying it out loud can be really helpful. So once you've done your lecture assignment, I recommend printing out the lab handout. And these are really standard microbiology lab techniques that you would do in a live lab: smears, simple stains, and wet mounts. Between the virtual labs and the pictures we have in the lab and all that, hopefully you'll just get an appreciation for what these are and how they're useful. And so here you have 2 virtual labs. This one I have, instead of LA, like lecture assignment, I have lab assignment. So this is one of those adaptive learning things that I made from the textbook about these topics that were in the textbook. So these are just some questions. It's not quite as long as one of these. So you're going to complete all 3 of those for your lab. And once your lab handout is completely filled out, you want to take the lab quiz. And the lab quiz, you can use your completed lab handout to take the lab quiz. Okay. Also remember, in week 2, I assigned the Respondus practice quiz. Right now, this is week 3. The Respondus practice video is due with the week 4 due date. But why not, if you haven't finished it, I recommend doing the Respondus practice quiz this week. If you're having any problems with it, this is when you want to know, so you have time to solve it. Okay? You can't get to exam number 1, which is in week 5, I believe, and say, oh my gosh, I can't work with Respondus. I can't figure out how to use it. I'm not going to extend your due date because of that. You have plenty of time to work on that. So again, you might want to go back to week number 2, and if you haven't done it already, do the Respondus practice quiz. Meanwhile, I hope you guys have a great week number 3. You've been putting out a good effort. Almost everybody is doing all the assignments. So, and as always, please reach out if you're having any problems or you just want to chat. Take care.